buying a dental practice is the biggest decision of your career, and we're so proud to partner with DDSmatch as a sponsor who brings us practices across the U.S. I'm here with Thad Miller, who's going to share practices he has for sale right now and why this is an awesome opportunity for a dentist who's looking to grow an amazing practice in an awesome location. Thad, thanks for being on with us. Before we jump into this practice, just tell us what you do in your daily life to help dentists realize their dreams and avoid screams.
Avoid the screams. Um, we work with clients looking to transition their dental practices. So we represent the seller, and ideally we find young buyers that are a good candidate to purchase and make it their own. And our job is to be as transparent as possible in the process to show them the opportunity from a financial standpoint or clinical standpoint. That's our goal.
And you are truly there at the circle of owner life. You got one person riding off into the sunset, and you have someone else coming to take over their life's work. So, you do the work of the Lord G.V. Black. That was a famous dentist, Thad. So
Oh,
you can tell
yeah. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
So let's dig into this specific opportunity. You are the expert in this area. Just tell our audience a little bit about this current practice, some of the opportunities, things they should know more about if they want to reach out and talk to you about it.
Sure. Louisville is a great city. It's very affordable for families and it has great schools. And this practice that we're talking about is on the east end of Louisville. So anybody that lives in Louisville, they know where the east end is. It's a desired area of town. It's actually right next to a high school, which is always pretty good. From what I've heard, dentists, if they do their demographic studies, they like to be near high schools. There's development across the street where they're building a lot of growth in an area that's really pretty established anyway. And then there's a brand new hospital that just went up probably a quarter mile from this practice, maybe less, maybe an eighth of a mile. So
Sounds like
yeah, it's a smaller practice in size. It's 4 operatories, collections are around $500,000, but very consistent. But the dentist has sent out a tremendous amount of work on a consistent basis. Doesn't place implants, doesn't do much oral surgery, no endo, no perio, and when they have kids in the practice, they refer them to the pediatric dentist.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, someone who's been a practice owner for, what's going on 2 decades. There's a lot of value if, you have an additional skill set that a current dentist is referring out. The patients love if you can do some of it. You don't have to do all of it. But that, to me, Thad, in this transitions life is such a benefit. So this would be good for a general dentist who's comfortable with restorative dentistry, and an even better opportunity if they did some additional specialty services to grow it.
Absolutely. And they, it's a nice, relaxed atmosphere. It's a nicely appointed practice, 4 operatories. He's got a really good, robust recall in hygiene. He's kind of has 1.5 hygienists in the practice. So, definitely a restorative practice on with not a lot of specialty at all going on in the practice. So good opportunity.
Awesome. I want to share with our audience, they can text Louisville to 215-543-6454 to get connected. They can email transitions@dentalnachos.com. And if I just kind of wrap up with this, Thad, like you are constantly talking to dentists wanting to buy their first dental practice and most of the time sell their only dental practice. If we talk about the buyers that are listening in, when they connect with someone like you, what are they going to learn? Not just maybe about this practice, but just about the process. Do you help them connect with banks if they need to? Do you help them understand what they need to have in order to make an offer? Those are some of the things that you do with the buyer side of this.
Absolutely. We don't represent the buyer. We want to be real clear. We don't believe in dual-sided representation.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's not good for anybody. So we want the buyer to be in good hands. Ideally, a dental CPA or somebody on the financial side that kind of review and understand, if you buy this practice, what does your income look like for the next 10 years? And we feel like we provide a lot of our responsibility, and that's to provide as much information as possible. Anything a buyer would want to understand before they purchase it, because we know it's a big deal, no matter what size the practice is. We want them to go into it very confidently and have a good team in place, bankers, accountants, attorneys. We've got people locally and nationally that want to work with dentists, and we can get them connected, and then they take it from there in their relationship.
I love that. I mean, when I was doing this, I've retired, but I would tell, I was not a dual rep broker. I agree with you 100%. I had problems with dual rep brokers, but I said I work for the seller, but I'm here to work with you so that you know who to connect with, how to build your team. And, you guys have this trusted transition process. Maybe just tell our audience, because a seller could be listening to this or watching in, or a buyer, how does that create confidence? How does that create some objectivity in a practice sale world that can be, in my technical term, Thad, nacho nuts? So tell us about the trusted transition process.
Yeah. So I started this company 15 and a half years ago, and I felt like, having worked with dentists 12 years before that, so I've been in the dental space for 27 years, knowing dentists, how they operate, you're normally doing a crown the same way you were taught in dental school: step
Got it.
1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So we built a process that helps a dentist see that pathway once they get started with us, because we essentially are selling something intangible,
Right.
that's really their goodwill of the dental practice. We want to kind of help them get prepared for that in certain ways. If it's a third party business valuation that we have on this practice I'm talking about, or any practice we have, shows what's really going on in the practice from a financial end. We also have a clinical opportunity blueprint, which is a partnership we have with Dental Intelligence that shows where the opportunity is in the
Yeah.
practice. Like I'm saying, there's all this oral surgery, endo, perio, pediatric dentistry that's available. That report will actually put a dollar amount on it, so they know what to expect if they were to do that type of dentistry. So this pathway is 7 steps long, and it just helps us work in lockstep with the seller, getting them what they truly want, and it's their decision. They have total control over the process.
I love that. Systems are so key. Dennis, love them. I so appreciate our partnership. I want to remind everyone watching and listening in, you can text Louisville to 215-543-6454 or email transitions@dentalnachos.com. We'll get you connected with Thad Miller and his amazing team. Thanks so much for sharing, Thad.
Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate it.